Hi, Rochelle with Lady Fermenter. Today I'm going to be brewing a Vienna Lager, short and shoddy style, which is not my method. It is actually the recipe and the method is from Marshall Schott over at Brewlosophy. But I have learned a couple things and I just wanted to share those with you. Number one, even with my pokey little Grainfather 110 system, the day moves quickly because it's a 30-minute mash and 30-minute boil. So what I've learned is you need to get your stuff lined up, ducks in a row I call it, and I'll show you what that looks like for me. So I have a bowl for tasting. I'll do that pre-boil. I have my hops all laid out and when they're going in. My brew tambi, my Irish moss, another tasting vessel just so I remember to not only taste but also take readings, and then my yeast. For this Vienna Lager, we have 98% Vienna malt and 2% pale chocolate going in to the mash. Another thing you need to take into consideration is that you will need to increase the amount of hops you're putting in. And the reason for that is that 30-minute boil is probably not going to be enough to get the same amount of bitterness, makes sense, right, than a 60-minute boil would get you. You need to increase your hops. The other thing I learned the hard way is now I've had success with this method doing like a lighter flavor profile beer, like a blonde ale or an American ale. Those work out fine. Those are my recipes. But what I noticed is when I took or attempted a Doppelbock, it was a disaster. I didn't get enough of the flavor profile. It didn't get all that richness and complexity. So that tells me the other thing we need to do is increase the malt bill. Now for this Vienna Lager, Marshall has this completely dialed in and it works great. But if I like to recipe design, and so I do not have it dialed in on all the beer styles. I haven't tried this method with all the beer styles, but it is kind of fun. It's a fun way to shorten your brew day, and I recommend you give it a try because the results have been really amazing and save some time. All right, our 20-minute addition is a ½ ounce of Magnum. Our 12-minute addition, if I filmed it, would have been brew tambi. Our 10-minute addition is 1 ounce of Tettnager hops. Our 9-minute addition is Spanish moss, which I rehydrated, and I'll dig the rest of it out with a spoon. All right, we are ready to pitch our yeast. What I like to do is I like to cover up my brews if I'm not going to pitch immediately. Take a piece of foil and I sanitize it. I just spray some Star San on it. So for this for this Vienna, I'm using Nova Lager. Sanitize the package and sanitize the scissors that I used to open up this package with. Just we want to make sure we don't get any sneaky little microbes. Sanitized lid and gasket, sanitized bung, and sanitized airlock. All right, and we're off. Our Vienna Lager is ready to be kegged, and I'll just try to show you what I'm doing. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna put what's in here. Can I not spell? Oh my God. Vienna. Vienna Lager. And today, boy, I cannot write. And today is 1/22/26. Okay, now this, I'll put my name on here because this keg is going to Fondy Brew Fest. So that's the first thing I do. My husband, thank you, honey, got all the kegs ready. But these are clean, sanitized, and pressurized.
It's not leaking.
And it's not leaking, which I was trying to remember the other day how many times I personally had that happen. What I remember was four times, and I think it ruined every beer, all those beers, which was heartbreaking. Especially because I remember one in particular. I felt turned out really good, but it didn't matter because that's what happened. All right, now one thing we do is we take a piece of piece of paper towel and soak it in Star San, and then we go up into that little spigot part just to be on the safe side that there's no sneaky little microbes hanging out in there or causing issues. I did give a taste test to this beer because it is going to a brew fest to be served, and I wanted to make sure that it tasted okay. This is our bucket of Star San. All right, here we go. Oh, my favorite thing to forget is taking off the airlock. All right. And then oh shoot, I dropped it in there. What I do like to do is cover it up. I'm not worried about oxygen at this point. All the reading I've done on gas, it's all kind of mixing anyway. So, all right. What we're gonna do is after it's in the keg, then we're going to fast carb it. It'll be ready. Not sure how much I'm gonna do tonight with it, but it would be ready probably in about an hour. Would you say? It's a little foamy at that point, but you can still taste it and get a good idea what it's gonna taste like. And but we'll come back and we'll circle back and do a tasting and let you know how it tastes. Here's our Vienna Lager, short and shoddy style. Aroma, so I get some soft chocolate and just the right amount of toasted grain, and the least little bit of herbal and just a touch of a spice from the Saaz hop. All right, flavor. Soft chocolate. You get a moderate toast, which is really pleasant, along with a slight bitterness from those hops. And it's delightful. It finishes really nice and refreshing. Now, if you love Vienna Lager, I'm gonna link another video. We did a test comparing two Vienna malts. Not all Vienna malts are the same, I'm sure you know that, but it was pretty interesting. Thanks a pint for watching. Cheers.